Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy. It's your boy. Oh, shit. Ain't no way I forgot how to do this shit, bruh. I know it's been a couple days, bruh. It's your boy, Nixie, coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. So I wanted to show you guys how I actually like to use FET compressors on my master bus today. So let's not waste no time. I know I've been gone for a couple days. You know, I think it's been like, what, 10 days? But I know it feel like 10 years. You know, I love dropping these gems every day. So let's not waste no time. Let's jump right into it. I've been gone, but I actually added a little bit of hardware. I added the Neve 542s into the West Audio Array. So I'm about to be doing some videos coming very, very, very soon. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's jump right into it. So today I'm going to show you how I like to use FET compressors on the master bus today. You know, FET compressors are pretty interesting. They're very responsive. That's why I like them for a, you know, kind of like a fast tempo type of song. So let's not waste no time. Let's get the, you know, playing some music and hearing how we can improve this song using a couple of FET compressors on the master bus.
Know that shit don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Yeah, hey, yeah. Know that shit don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down. Know that shit don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down.
She go really bout his numbers, yeah, he really make it count. I ain't seen they ass before, heard him meet through word of mouth. I remember I was hustling, get a call and flip a pound. Your bitch with me in the woods, she with me through all the route.
Know that I ain't fucking around, know that I ain't fucking around. Back when I ain't had no money, I remember I was down. I ain't have a lot of dough, but I had a lot of doubt. One thing about these accounts, you could never count them out.
They say we the hottest, coming out from down.
Yes, sir. One thing about Nixon counts, you could never count them out. So yeah, this was a freestyle I did with my homeboys. We did this shit so quick. You know, little stuff like this, y'all will never get to see me in the studio, how I socially interact with people and how I just push people. Like it's crazy. But we did this song in like what, 30 minutes? Crazy. All right, so cool. You know, making music is all about having fun, and a very important thing I think about when I first was into music is, you know, something like this interview, right? I saw Jack Joseph Puig talking about, I was in England and I saw somebody put two 1176s on the master fader, and that kind of blew my head a little bit. You know, you got another crazy lunatic right here of an engineer, Mr. Andrew Sheps, and he's very known for the rear bus technique, which he took from Michael Brower, right? So, you know, Michael Brower, he had the SSLJ console. It was the console, right, that had a master fader, but then it had like four, you know, sub masters on it. So, you know, one of them, he would actually take his whole mix and like parallel compress it with some 1176s, right? And that kind of had my head running, you know. So the rear bus technique, you know, Andrew Sheps did that on his console as well, and it was really good because it gave a lot of impact, a lot of focus in the middle of the music, right? And when I also think about something like, you know, analog hardware, when it comes to FET compressors, I think about, of course, the Drummer 1973. You know, usually, you know, something like the 1973 is probably very good for rap music. If you have like a bass that's too out of control, you might want to use something like that low band to compress it. Softtube has a plugin. I'm gonna do another video talking about how to use multi-band compressors on the master fader and all stuff like that. But most importantly, let's just jump right into the actual, you know, way I feel like, you know, FET compressors are pretty important on the master fader. So a guy like Michael Brower, he's the very first person who made me like really think about, you know, parallel compressing the mix using you know, this specific type of compressor, which is the Softtube Chandler Germanium. So with this one, you know, it's a diode bridge. It's like a hybrid baby, you know, it's like a mixed breed type of situation, right? It's like a mutt where it's mixed with the same components as 1176, yeah. You know, it has the FET components in it during the compression, but then it has the diode bridge components in it, the Zener diodes giving it all the color. So in a situation like this song, right, you have this type of beat where the sides, the energy of the sides is kind of like very low. So I actually want to add a little bit of weight, but I only have a 2-track beat. So how can I add some weight to that main melody that's all the way out on the sides? I can't reach it. You know, I got to reach and reach out, right? I use something like the Chandler limited compressor in Studio Rack, and I only use it on the sides. So I'm about to parallel compress only the sides of the mix, and I'm using the Fatner preset to add a little bit of weight to that 2-track on the sides. Okay, cool, let's go.
Know that shit don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Hey, yeah, know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down. Know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down.
She go really bout his numbers, yeah, he really make it count. I ain't seen they ass before, heard of me through word of mouth. I remember I was hustling, get a call and flip a pound. Your bitch with me in the woods, she with me through all the route.
Know that I ain't fucking around, know that I ain't fucking around. Back when I ain't had no money, I remember I was down. I ain't have a lot of dough, but I had a lot of doubt. One thing about niggas accounts, you could never count them out.
They say we the hottest.
So essentially what I'm doing is I'm just parallel compressing the sides. I could have even parallel compressed the sides of the beat, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit of weight to the woo in the low level detail as well. So okay, cool. That's one exotic way that I like to use something like a FET compressor on my master fader. And then after that, let's go to Andrew Sheps' technique, right? So I used to use the rear bus technique, but it never worked for me. It never sounded good because usually with rap music, the 808, you don't have control of the 2-track beat, right? Like in a situation like this, right? But the 808 will just drive and just the compressor would just eat up. The FET compressor would just eat up the low end, right? And it won't sound good. So a way I figured out actually how to do Andrew Sheps' rear bus technique, right? To add some focus to the middle, some concentration, is by doing a parallel split, right? On the master fader, then doing a multi-band split right here, right? And on my multi-band split, what's going on is I'm only, let me pull it up right here. And on my parallel split, I'm only compressing all the way up to like 92 and above. So I'm not touching that sub, that low end distortion. I'm not getting any of that. I'm only just compressing like the kick, the vocal, the snare, and it's adding a lot of focus to the mid-range, okay? Cool, so this is how you can add a lot of impact to the focus. If you got a 2-track beat where the kick is kind of weak and the center is kind of weak, maybe you want to do a situation like this, parallel split, multi-band split, and then after that, you use something like the 1176 AE, which Andrew Sheps like to use because it has a 2-to-1 ratio, and with the lower ratio, it lets you put more of your hand inside of the the toy machine, the toy claw. When you go to the arcade and you got that little that little toy claw thing, right? You have a better chance of picking out the toys if you go right down in the middle where all the toys is at, rather than going in the corner and trying to just pick that one specific toy. If you don't grab it, you're not gonna grab it, right? So I'm grabbing the kick, the snare, the vocal, and it's adding impact to the middle, slowest attack to get all of the transients and everything, and then this kind of medium release. So let's listen to it with and without. Listen to the focus in the mid-range.
Know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Yeah, hey, yeah. Know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down. Know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down.
She go really bout his numbers, yeah, he really make it count. I ain't seen they ass before, heard of me through word of mouth. I remember I was hustling, get a call and flip a pound. Your bitch with me in the woods, she with me through all the route.
Know that I ain't fucking around, know that I ain't fucking around. Back when I ain't had no money, I remember I was down. I ain't have a lot of dough, but I had a lot of doubt. One thing about niggas accounts, you could never count them out.
They say we the hottest, coming out from down south. I'm on ecstasy, got me jumping in the crowd. Never thought that I would be here, but I got here somehow. I know we don't fuck around.
So even though it's stereo parallel compression, it just has a way of just adding a lot of that grit, a lot of that aggressiveness to the mid-range. Okay, cool. And the last way that I like to use FET compressors on my master bus is, of course, using something like the Fatso, which is a very, very crazy wild card, right? But if you hit these two lights on the Fatso, it turns into an 1176 pretty much, right? I turn off the transformer, I turn off the warm circuit, and I like to aim for about 1 to 2 dB. And pretty much with this, it's kind of like gonna change the repositioning of the mix. It kind of makes the sides come up and the mid-range gets pushed back a little bit. So you can like reposition a mix kind of like this. So let's listen.
Hey, yeah, know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down. Know that check don't ever bounce. Told your bitch to make it bounce. Take a trip way out of town. Rockin' all designer down.
She go really bout his numbers, yeah, he really make it count. I ain't seen they ass before, heard of me through word of mouth. I remember I was hustling, get a call and flip a pound. Your bitch with me in the woods, she with me through all the route.
Know that I ain't fucking around, know that I ain't fucking around. Back when I ain't had no money, I remember I was down. I ain't have a lot of dough, but I had a lot of doubt. One thing about niggas accounts, you could never count them out.
They say we the hottest, coming out from down south. I'm on ecstasy, Got me jumping in the crowd. Never thought that I would be here, but I got here somehow. We don't fuck around.
I'm on Percocet, got me way up in the clouds, having lots of sex. She won't go another round, I can't take no rest. Hustle hard, what I'm about, bitch, you know the best. We the fucking hardest out, I'ma pull my heart.
So yeah, I would use something like this in a situation to make that 808 hit a little bit harder, because that FET compression in the mid-range, listen to how it takes the 808 and pushes it forward. But also at the same time, you know, something like the Fatso also has a soft clipping circuit in it. So the soft clipping circuit is always in, right? So it kind of has an interesting way of like reshaping the envelope of the kick and the 808 and everything like that. So that's pretty much the end of the video that I got here for today. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. I hope you guys were able to learn something from this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all now. Peace.